Hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesday Yoga. Go ahead and find yourself in a nice, comfortable seated position. Maybe finding a chair or a cushion or something to sit on if that feels comfortable, or if you have any kind of tightness in the hips, finding something to lean back against can be nice too. So some back support. Just go ahead and find a comfortable position. Maybe you're rocking side to side, back and forth, releasing the hips. And then once you're comfortable, just kind of find some stillness. Go ahead and start to let the eyes just blink closed, or you can just take a drishti, a focal point at the floor, just a couple inches in front of your mat or wherever you're seated. And start to notice the breath moving in the body. Not controlling the breath at all yet, but just kind of noticing if there's any tightness in the body, maybe making it hard to get a nice full inhale. Any points of pain or discomfort. Just kind of send the breath into those areas if you have them. And the next inhale, really draw the belly down, pulling the diaphragm down away from the ribs and expanding through all of the torso. And then once it's full, just kind of pause briefly, holding at the top of the breath, and then releasing the inhale whenever that's comfortable, really expelling all of the air out of the lungs, squeezing the belly in, bringing out the insides and holding at that empty point. Then inhale, let the air rush back in through the nose. Fill the belly all the way up as much as you can. And then just hold briefly at the top of that inhale, just as long as it's comfortable. Exhale. Really release all the air out, really compress the lungs, the abdomen, squeeze the abs, hold, and then inhale again in through the nose. Just take a natural breath here now. Noticing any sensations in the body, in the mind. And then with your eyes still closed, if it's comfortable, go ahead and take your hands together at your heart. Fingertips touching and kind of creating a little bit of a hollow space in between the hands. So the base of the palms are touching and the fingertips are touching, but the middle of the palm is kind of a little cave. Just start to notice the points of contact of the fingertips, the palm, and then notice that empty space in between the hands. Maybe you notice a little bit of warmth or tingling and other sensations. It's that energy flow, that prana that runs through our bodies, our little energetic aura, transporting information through the body and nutrients through the blood into the tissues and radiating out into the world around us. So maybe today that prana might be feeling a little low. If you're tired, just give yourself some compassion and honor yourself for showing up for a little stretching and mindfulness. Go ahead and blink the eyes open. Inhale, stretch the arms out wide, reaching up overhead. Palms come to touch. Exhale the hands down to heart center. We're going to do 2 more of those. So inhale, sweep the arms wide, really stretch through the arms. Shoulders down away from the ears, palms together. Exhale, hands down to heart center. My little cat assistant. 1 more, inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Palms come to touch. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Take a little moment, give yourself some gratitude, show some love. We're going to find hands and knees for our cat-cows. So take the palms right underneath the shoulders, tops of the feet down on the mat. And go for a straight back here. So while our hips might not be perfectly level with our shoulders, we're still going to kind of just lengthen flat through the back. So we press down through the palms, through the forefinger, the thumb, the pinky finger, so we're not compressing our wrist too much. And then just notice where the head is. I kind of tend to drop my head down a little bit. So lifting up, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, and pulling the tip of the crown of your head towards that wall that's in front of you. Pressing down through the tops of the feet, and the hands helps engage your torso there, so you get like nice active engagement through the belly and the chest that supports the back of the body. On an inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the hips, and just kind of let the gaze go up as far as it feels good. Tuck the hips and let your neck just kind of snake through your spine, tipping the opposite direction. Let the back of the head open up, chin to chest. Inhale, drop the belly down. Roshi, no. Gaze goes up. Just take a few of these with your breath. Exhale, press the palms down. Top of the head goes down towards the mat. Inhale, flip the belly, open the heart. And then exhale, just find a flat back here. We're going to inhale and step the left foot forward for a little lunge, but we're not going to do a crescent lunge where we kind of open up the right hip flexor here. We're going to do just a 90-90 right here. So the right top of the foot is down. And then we've got that 90-degree angle through the left foot. Really press through that right glute so you can open up the front of that right hip flexor and the quad. And then inhale your right hand up. Create some length in a straight line right here. So the spine's shooting straight up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, just tip over, keeping your hips right where they are, just tipping slightly over to the left side to open up that right side of the body. You don't have to go over very far here. You want to keep the neck straight and lifting. And then just kind of pull the armpit away from the hip. Taking another nice full deep breath here. And then exhale, coming back down. And we're just going to switch it out. So right foot comes forward. Really squeezing through that left glute and pressing forward through the hip flexor. If you want to have something nearby, a wall or a chair or block or something to grab onto, that's helpful. But really squeezing and activating through this glute and hip flexor so that you can open up the front side there. Inhale the left hand straight up, lengthening. Just kind of feel the shoulders reach up away from the hips. And then exhale, just tip over really, really like slightly. You don't need to think of a drastic movement here. You just want to feel that opening. So pressing the top of that left foot down into the mat. It's going to help you get more activation and opening through that quad and hip flexor. Lift the chin up so you're not compressing your breath at all. One more deep belly breath here. And then exhale, hands down. Now we're going to take pigeon with the left foot forward. So just go ahead and step the right foot back like you're going to go into a plank. Tuck those toes under and then draw your left knee towards your left wrist. And you can be anywhere from a 45-degree angle to a 90-degree angle here, but just slide that right foot back and then rest on that hip flexor. You know this one because we do it almost every time. I love pigeon pose. I was reading today about how important it is to open up all of your hip flexors and your pelvic girdle and all of the ligaments and muscles and that intricate system down there because it's the basis of the nourishment of all of our tissues in our body. So getting into the hips is so important. Staying up here like this and press that top of the right foot down so you can kind of feel the hips draw further down. You can shift over onto that hip and readjust where your foot is. I think that the maximum expression of this pose would be your shin is parallel with the mat in front of you, but that's for you have extremely open, flexible joints and hips, which is not me. So a little bit more of a 90-degree angle, but you can always rotate over there. I said 90, I meant 45. So just like cutting that angle in half there. And then just start to sink down onto the forearms. Kind of experiment with kind of pressing the hips forward here, rocking the hips side to side, back and forth. And really let go of any tension you're holding in the back of the neck, back of the skull, and the shoulders. Take a nice full deep breath, send it right down into that hip flexor. And then exhale, just imagine all of that tension leaving. Another nice full inhale, just like that, down into the belly. And then exhale, feel the tension leave the body. Inhale, we're going to take the hands up underneath the shoulders, tuck the right toes, step back to plank. And then we're going to just take that right knee to right wrist. And then take whatever angle is comfy on this side there, just finding your sweet spot. Take a glance over your shoulder, make sure that foot and hip are in alignment, that left side. And then just stay up here. If the wrists are a little tender like mine are, you can come up onto the fists. Just start to feel that opening. And this is my tight side, so it's always going to be a little bit more difficult to get into. So you might notice that, and if that's the case, you want to spend a little bit more time after this on the side that was tight, or modifying on the tight side and just kind of making note of which stretches you feel that in. So you can come back to those and increase your mobility and your flexibility. Nice deep inhale down into the belly. And exhale. We want to come down to the forearms. You can take the forearms here and press the top of that left foot down, maybe flexing the right foot a little bit if you can. Mine's not flexing, it's not going to happen. So that's all going to come back down to circulation too. So if we have bad circulation, it can be tied into tight hip flexors or other compression throughout the spine. So those cat cows and hip openers are going to be super good for increasing your circulation and that flow of prana we talked about. Inhale, take the hands up underneath the shoulders, and we're just going to roll over onto the bottom. We're going to find little cow face pose. So the right leg is bent on the bottom, left is over the top, so the ankle crosses over the knee. We're going to inhale, take the left hand, prop your spine up nice and tall, and then exhale, release and ground down. Inhale, reach the right arm up overhead, and then exhale, just hook that elbow around the outside of the knee and start to open the chest towards the side of the room. If you notice any kind of like pinching or discomfort in the middle or low back, just don't twist as far here. So you can come with the chest facing forward or just slightly diagonally, and then just take the gaze over. But if it feels good, you can start to press a little bit further into that, get a little bit more mobility through the thoracic spine, just reaching nice and tall through the crown. And these twists are also going to compress all those torso muscles and organs, and that's going to get a lot of nice fresh blood flow through there. It's kind of a little detoxifying action. Exhale, release. And we'll switch the feet now. So take the left on bottom, right over top. And then we'll just take the right hand back behind us to give us a little boost up nice and tall. Inhale the left arm up high. Exhale, elbow crosses over the knee and opening the chest towards the other side here. Just noticing if it's different on one side or the other. A nice deep inhale, as deep as you can in that compression. And then exhale, just let all the tension go. Maybe on the next inhale, we grow a little taller through the crown. And the exhale, maybe the gaze comes towards the back of the room. We'll go ahead and exhale, taking the left leg bent and the right leg extended out in front of us. Try to find the sits bones here. So they're rooted nice and firmly on the mat or the floor, wherever you're at. Inhale, we're going to reach the arms up again, nice and tall. Imagine a nice straight, pencil straight line from your fingertips all the way down to your hips. And then exhale, just hinge forward. So don't round. And then see where your edge is. So how far you can go right there. And then you can take the hands down to the shin or the quad. And I want to challenge you before you round at all, just flex that right foot and just reach the chest towards your shin. See how that feels. And then exhale, go ahead and round if that feels good. You can let the head come down towards the knee. Take the next inhale really deeply down into the belly and just notice which muscles open up, which muscles are talking to you. And then exhale, walk the hands back up. Switch the feet. And then find the sits bones on this side. Get nice and rooted. Feel a nice strong line. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, find that edge. Notice if it's different on this side and hold here. You can really engage the core so you can keep that straight line without putting any extra tension on the back of the spine. And then exhale, you can take the hands to the shins if you want. Start to round down. If you have a little kitty, you can pet your kitty that's coming to see you. And just let the head kind of hang heavy. Take a nice expansive inhale like we did in the beginning of our breath work. And then exhale, letting the stress go. Inhale, walk the hands back up. Find a nice seated cross-leg position. Hands can just kind of rest at the knees, however it's comfortable, and close the eyes again. Just take a little moment. Hold on to this restful state and mindfulness of your own body and mind. Slowly open the eyes. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Palms come to touch. Exhale the hands down to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for coming to yoga. I have an idea that I thought you guys might like. I always have a hard time coming up with ideas that I think everybody will enjoy and get everybody engaged so that we get to know each other a little bit more. And I thought that since usually for these yoga classes, it's not a time that people can always get on live, and the Tuesdays at 2 are the best time for me to be able to do those consistently. Usually, I know today was different, but I was thinking that we could do a yoga class live and have it be with our kiddos. So I would teach with my kids, and it would just be short, maybe 10-15 minutes. I know these are usually about that time period, but sometimes we go a little longer. So if you guys would be interested in that, or if you think your kids would want to do like a short little mindfulness and easy yoga, we're not doing anything crazy, just some stretching and stuff like that. So let me know what days and times. I'm also going to post in our group chat about that so that everybody can kind of give some feedback or input and tell me what days or times, days and or times. I know it'd probably be an evening or maybe a Sunday that we could make that happen. So if you want to do that, or you think your kiddos would be into that, then we can have a fun time. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening and rest of your week. And we will see you next Tuesday at 6 for happy hour with kitties. Where's my record? I have to stop recording.